I don't know what was going on, but like OBS was just not acting good today. I don't know what was going on with it. I don't know. I think my PC's starting to get a little bit old. I think I'm gonna need to upgrade it soon. So that's definitely on the cards. But hello, Vengeance. Hello, Jackie Khan. Hello, Boda. Hello, Caleb. Welcome, Vengeance. Hello, Ant. I think it's Anthony. Yeah. Hello. Okay. Hey, what's up, Vamp? Okay. I just wanted to give you an update. What happened last week, just so no one has to worry too much. Okay. Yeah, Vamp. Okay, that's what I'm gonna talk about right now. I just want to knock that out of the park right now. So, long story short, so last Wednesday I went to the dentist and they were working on me. They checked my blood pressure and it was really, really high. It was like unsafely high. They thought maybe there was a problem with the machine, so they actually pulled out a second machine to double check it. It was still really high, like it was dangerously high, and it wasn't going down. So I immediately went to the hospital and I double checked with a doctor, and he said, yeah, there was a problem. I was suffering from a very, very bad case of high blood pressure that needed to be treated immediately. So they put me on some medication, and I picked up a blood pressure meter, and I check my blood pressure every 6 hours, and I've been recording it ever since for like the last 7 days. Uh, I've gone on like a diet, and on top of that, like literally that very same day, I then went to a gym that is right across from my work, and I set up a program, and I'm currently working with a personal trainer, so to kind of get me back in shape to lose weight, and go on a diet and figure out what to eat. So that's literally all I've been doing for like the last 7 days, outside of filming a couple of videos. So that is what has happened. Good news, it has gone down a little bit, but like now we need to work on keeping it down. I'm currently really, really sore from having gone to the gym, I believe 2 days ago. So I'm like really, really sore. Like it was so bad working out. Like it was probably something I needed. Like going up and down stairs was really, really hard. Trying to get around work was really, really hard. So that's pretty much what's been happening. So I don't know. Maybe I asked my mom if like high blood pressure was like common in both sides of my family. Apparently it was. It is. So maybe I'm getting hit with it now at age 33. So that's something I need to watch out for. But like, it was dangerously high. Like, put it like this: it was within like, if it had gone up another 12, it's like that stroke territory. It was that bad. So that they were saying like, yeah, you need to go to the hospital now, and that was all I did yesterday. So I went from dentist to hospital to Walgreens to get medication, set up a gym membership, which is expensive as hell, and that's really all I've been doing. So that is what's going on. I'm okay right now. I've been feeling good the last few days. Blood pressure was definitely down today. I've been eating up but like protein, so I've been on like a serious diet. So like no fast food, nothing with salt. Get a lot of proteins. I'm gonna go to the gym probably later tonight around I say like 7 or 8ish. I definitely want time to work on a few films because I filmed a few things today. I want to edit them, maybe get them at least ready to be uploaded tomorrow. So that's kind of my plan. I was also playing some Mortal Kombat today and played some Star Wars. So that's what's been going on. So that's it. So yeah. Okay, so now I can start answering you guys' questions. So I'm gonna start off with Jackie Khan. What movies have I seen this year? Okay, believe it or not, I actually just filmed literally before starting this. I filmed my worst to best ranking of all the films I saw this year. I only saw 7 films in theaters. I saw Napoleon, Oppenheimer, Mission Impossible, Spider-Man, Across the Spider-Verse, The Pope's Exorcist, Super Mario movie, and John Wick 4. Those are all the films I saw this year in theaters, and I did a ranking of them. So either later today or guaranteed tomorrow, you're going to see a ranking. I did 2 rankings. I did a ranking for movies and I did a ranking for games because the Video Game Awards was a number of days ago. Which, if you guys want me to talk about that, just let me know in your questions, and I'll let you know what I thought about it. So that's what's been going on right now. Hey, what's up, Jim Page? How you doing? Welcome to the chat. Thanks, Caleb. I appreciate that. Hey, buddy. Hey, Mimboom. I'm doing better today. Yeah, Vengeance. It was dangerously bad. Like put it like this, it scared me so much. I recently redid my my will, and I contacted my brother, and I was just like, look, I don't know what's gonna happen, but hopefully it doesn't get too serious. So yeah, I don't want to scare anybody, but I just want to let people know, just take certain precautions, because I had been feeling a certain kind of way previous days, but uh, I've cut back on some things, and I have seen improvements. Uh, Top five or more tier list? Yeah, well, yeah, Jim. If you have an idea for a top five or a tier list, let me know. I actually already have I already have plans to film a top five PlayStation One games. So I've done PS2, PS3, PS4. I don't think I can do PS5 yet, but I want to do PS1. That's next. But if there's like any other consoles you want me to do, and I also did Super Nintendo. I also did Super Nintendo. So if there's a certain console you want me to do a top list for or a tier list ranking, please let me know in the comments down below or send me a message on any of my social media outlets, and I will be sure to get it up as soon as I can, and I'll be sure to give you a shout out, Jimmy. Well, that's all I've been drinking is water and protein milk. Like I had to buy like this giant thing of supplements, and I drink like that every day. You bought a strategy guide for a game. I was wondering what's the difference between a strategy guide and a walkthrough. A strategy guide kind of gives you clues or things. Walkthroughs don't do that. Walkthroughs show you how to get through a game. A strategy guide will actually tell you like secrets that you may not be aware of. A lot of walkthroughs don't do that. Like some people are play walkthroughs and they try to speed run through the game. They just want to get you through the game. That's the purpose of a walkthrough. A strategy guide kind of gives you hints on how to progress. So I just think that a strategy guide, or just the old school style, they went into more detail in certain sections, as opposed to a walkthrough. Like it's more straightforward, just trying to get you through the section, as opposed to explaining how the section works. Have you seen the trailer for Kung Fu Panda 4? I didn't know they were doing another Kung Fu Panda. I'm be honest, man. I'm not a fan of Kung Fu Panda, so I didn't know they made a fourth one. It's okay, Daniel. Yeah, I'm sorry to hear what's going on. And what's up, Winter Ghost? What's up? How you doing? You platinum Uncharted 2. Damn, what took you so damn long? Dude, that's like a game like when it first came out. Like you gotta platinum that sucker. You gonna platinum all of them? Because I know I did that. I did that with all the God of Wars. I've platinumed all the Uncharted's, and I've platinumed all the God of Wars. Wait. I think I've platinumed Ascension. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I did. Okay. You should have ended with Kung Fu Panda 3. Look, these people want to make money. And if it makes money, they'll do it. Have you ever heard voices in my head? A few times, but it's not so much hearing voices, it's kind of hearing my own thoughts. Like sometimes I'll think of something and I can hear myself saying it in my head, if that counts. But like someone else's voice, like a conscience, like, no. Typically, if I hear my conscience, it's in my own voice. Yeah. What do I think of OD hard game? I don't know what the hell to think about that, because I'm going to say this right now. I'm very uncomfortable with George Keighley's serious hard-on for Kojima. When Kojima didn't show anything. Like, let me get this straight. So Kojima is working on Death Stranding 2, and we got a trailer for that. No gameplay. And then he comes this year, and he just announces he's doing another game, which I'm assuming is Xbox exclusive, and we don't see anything. Like, look, I love Kojima. I worship the ground that man walks on. He has made two of my top 5 favorite video games of all time in the forms of Metal Gear Solid 3, which is my favorite game of all time, and Metal Gear Solid 4, which is my favorite PlayStation 3 game of all time. And the PlayStation 3 era is my favorite era of PlayStation ever. But I need to see Kojima do something great, because Death Stranding would not have worked for everybody. That is for a very small portion of people who kind of get it and would push through enough to the point where the game starts picking up. And even I would not ever even think about playing that game again from beginning to end, starting over. Like, I don't mind playing that with what I have now and going back and revisiting it, but I would never play that from beginning to end. Ever. he needs to make something that is at least fun. Kojima is all about trying to innovate and create something different, but like that may not work for the general audience, and I think that's a problem. So I don't know what he's planning to do with this horror game, but because it's on Xbox, I have no interest in it, and we don't know anything about it. Like, if you're gonna bring Kojima, he better have something to show instead of just an idea. He does this. He gives you an idea, but he doesn't exactly tell you what it is, and that can hurt. And again, I've wanted to see what he could do outside of Metal Gear for a long time, but like what he is doing is not great. It's different, but I wouldn't say it's fun. And when you play games, whether it's a horror game, an action game, a strategy game, you want to have fun. And I'm telling you, Death Stranding took a long time to the point where I was actually enjoying it. It took a long time, and I wouldn't have done that for other games. So he needs to come up with something good. But I don't know what to think of OD because we didn't see anything. All I know is he's working he's working with somebody, and it's for Xbox only. So that right there, because it's Xbox, heck, I have no interest in it because I'm never gonna get another Xbox again. So I don't know what to say, but I wasn't impressed. And I gotta say, I'm gonna say this right now. I was actually kind of disappointed with the Video Game Awards because they did not reveal anything for next year. Like, I've already looked at the schedule for 2024. There is not a single game I want to buy. Like, this might be like the first year in a long time where I actually do not buy anything. And I'm scared because that's a lack of content for me. So I got to come up with something to do next year because I probably will not be buying any new games. And that scares me. Like, nothing unless something comes out that surprises me. Like, anything that was even slightly interesting looks like it might be coming out in 2025. Like, that might be a good year for gaming, but 2024 is like a dead year. Like, that might be a movie. I focus more on movies than games. Like, there's not a single game I want to play next year. So, like, I better get used to the games I have now because I have a lot of them. I have a big backlog, so I might focus on that and doing, like, a lot of retro reviews, which I wanted to do for some time. So, yeah. Have you ever seen God? You mean like video game gods or like Jesus or something like that? Like that's I don't really go in those circles, if I'm being fair. So Brian, I think this is more experience than what. Oh, are you still? Are you? I swear that you are like one of the most persistent people I know about this, who just don't want to drop something. Or you still want to talk about the whole Cora Miranda thing? Can we move on, please? Like, it was fun, but we've been talking about this for like, it feels like 2 or 3 weeks. Like, come on, let's move on. Seriously. Like, I like talking to you guys, but like when I've kind of set my mind on something, no one's gonna change it. Like, I look, if you feel differently, that's perfectly fine. But like, you're not gonna change my mind how I feel about that. Like, I'm done talking about that. Least favorite superhero or supervillain? Least favorite? I guess off the top of my head, Miles Morales and I don't know, least villain. Like, I don't know how to think like that. Like, compared to who? That's kind of tough. Are there any films or games I'm looking forward to next year? Oh, okay. Well, films I'd have to double check, but yeah, I just spoke about games. Like, literally, there's like, yeah, Daniel, there's like literally no games. Like, I'm sure there's games for like people who have Xboxes, but like if we're talking about just PlayStation games, like they did not show a single thing for the VGAs, and I was actually kind of pissed off because I thought about going this year, but I decided to skip it. Like, if I went to a Video Game Awards at this point, it's not even for the award itself. It was just to kind of be there to see the online friends that I only saw last year. Like, there were some things that happened there that I wish I was there to have seen it in person. Like my friends who were there were posting pictures of people they got to meet, and I was like, oh my god, you got to meet that person. Like, it was so many people. I was like, oh my god, I wish I was there. Like, I wouldn't have. I was not really impressed with the show itself, but like the show was like 4 hours. Like, that's insane how long it is. Like, it should not have been that long. It's crazy. What are my thoughts on CM Punk's return to WWE? I'm not really the biggest CM Punk fan, but like, I hope they don't just do the whole, okay, he shows up and he's going to win the Royal Rumble and he's going to beat Seth Rollins. Like, I would feel, if I were Seth Rollins, if they went in that direction, I would feel very disrespected. Like, I do think it's a little bit ironic that CM Punk's first match is going to be at the Royal Rumble because that was the last match he was a part of in the WWE. But like, can we not do that? Like, if you want to make a match between Seth Rollins and CM Punk, okay, but like, don't have him win the belt immediately. Like, wait a while. Like, okay, Cody won. Like, they kind of did something like that with Cody Rhodes, where he came back, he went to his first Royal Rumble, he won, and then he goes against Roman Reigns and loses. And I kind of felt like they were going to do that this year, where he was going to win the Royal Rumble again, but I was like, okay, I think they'll find another way for Cody to take on Roman Reigns again. But it looks like they're gonna have CM Punk win Royal Rumble, but that doesn't seem right to people who've been there. Like, okay, I'm not a big fan of Punk, but like, just because he's popular doesn't mean he should get everything handed to him, because that's what he would feel like to me. It's like, oh, Punk came back after kind of bashing the company for like 10 years that he was away, and then you just reward him with all this stuff. Like, I don't think that's right at all. I don't think that's right for people who have been there that whole time, who have busted their ass. Like, have CM Punk kind of re-earn his way back. Like, he needs to earn some respect points before he gets anything handed to him. At least that's how I feel about it. What is my most played Mortal Kombat character? Ooh, definitely Scorpion. I'm actually reasonably good with Scorpion. I'm just trying to figure out how to do really good combos. Like, my top 5 characters that I have that I'm playing right now in Mortal Kombat 1, like, I would love to stream this on Switch. It's Scorpion, Liu Kang, Mei Ling, Baraka. Who's number 5? And I think I'm trying to get Omi Man down, but like, I'm looking at Quan Chi, and like, Quan Chi might be like someone I want to start using, because like, I love his style of combat. Like, he's more of a spacer, and I like that type of combat. Like, I like people like Scorpion and Lei Ming. They're much more up close, and Liu Kang's a little bit of a mixture, but I think like Quan Chi might be a really good spacer, and when he comes out, I really want to get good at him. So like, I'm waiting until he comes out. But yeah, I would say those are the characters I played the most in Mortal Kombat. What do I think are the cons about John Wick? I think the problem with the cons, I think the only cons I have with John Wick is that he does so many headshots, you get kind of numb to it. Like, when you see John Wick just do headshot, it's like he's like automatic pilot. I know he's really good, but like, when you do it like 50 times, like, it might be cool like the first 10 times, but when you get to like the 50th headshot, you're kind of like, okay, they're just throwing guys at this guy. Like, like, if you see, like, it's kind of funny. If you've seen the behind the scenes of like John Wick 4, it was funny how like some of the stuntmen, how like they would get killed, they would like walk around outside around camera, they would get put on like a different jacket and put on a different hat, and they would go at John Wick again. So they, like, in one scene they would get killed like 3 or 4 times. They would just like go out of scene and just put on a different set of clothes and come back and act like a different thug and be like it's just kind of crazy like that. It's just like, he just kills people like so quickly. It's kind of ridiculous. By the way, you have just finished Devil May Cry 5 Special Edition, and after completing it, I can confirm myself that Devil May Cry 5 Special Edition is the ultimate. Oh, yeah, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it is. Yeah, Special Edition Devil May Cry 5, dude. That was the first 10 out of 10 PlayStation 5 game. There's only one, and it's that one. And the addition of Virgil made that game, like, it took a 9.5 game, which is what Devil May Cry 5 was on the PlayStation 4, and gave it that little push it needed to become a 10 out of 10. Just like Special Edition for Devil May Cry 3. Devil May Cry 3 on its own was a 9.5, but that little bit of energy it needed from the Special Edition pushed that to a 10. Like, it's amazing. Devil May Cry 3, Devil May Cry 5 did the exact same thing, and both of them were pushed to 10 out of 10 levels for me, which is why, I would say Devil May Cry 5 Special Edition on the PlayStation 5 is the best Devil May Cry game of all time. You're very welcome, Caleb. New Kojima, yeah, I talked about this. We don't know anything about it. We don't know anything about it. Like if you're gonna bring Kojima there, have something good to show. Like, okay, so like, and I'm curious, how is he even able to work on 2 different games? Like, we saw one trailer for Death Stranding last year, and he's announcing another game. Now, I'm assuming Death Stranding is PlayStation exclusive like the first game was, so he's working on an exclusive for Xbox. So, like, how, like I'm telling Kojima Productions is not big. It's not a big studio. So, like, how does he have time to work on these 2 games, which are going to be, like, exclusive to different consoles? So, I'm very curious. Yes, I plan on doing the rest of them. Did I see Air Force One? Yeah, with Harrison Ford, and he's the president, and Gary Oldman's a terrorist. He's a Russian terrorist. Yeah, I've seen that film. Yeah, I think it's definitely one of Harrison's films, better films that he did outside of Star Wars. I mean, I would say out of, Mark Hamill and Carrie Fisher, I would say Harrison Ford definitely had the most success outside of Star Wars, and that's definitely one of his better films. Yeah. You were going to do Uncharted 1 first, but for some reason it didn't get the trophy. Oh, that sucks. I had that once. It was like a glitch or something. I had to, I had that happen with one of the Uncharted games. I actually had to delete the game completely, start over, and then I got the trophy, which kind of pissed me off. But I was trying to beat the game on, crushing, but I didn't, but I was trying to, cheat to do it. I was trying to, cheat the system a little bit. But I think at that point they had uploaded some sort of update that stopped me from doing it, so I actually had to legitimately do it. So, yeah. You finished the entire River City Girls 2 on my Switch, and I'm so glad that I did, because if you finish all the side quests and finish exploration, all the locations of the game. The funny thing is, I've actually been playing the new Star Wars, kind of 7-game set on my Switch that got here yesterday. So I have access to 7 different games. I have access to Republic Commando, Pod Racing, apparently the Wii version of Star Wars Force Unleashed. I've never played that. I thought, it was, the Xbox and PlayStation 3 versions. No, it's apparently the Switch version. So this is new to me. KOTOR 1 and 2. I've never played either of those games. Are those worth playing? I'm curious, because aren't those MMOs? So I don't know how those work in a single player setting. And I believe they uploaded also Jedi Academy and Jedi Outcast. So 7 games for $40. That's a steal. So if any of you have not picked that up, you need to pick that up, because that's a steal. Do you hope to visit Australia or New Zealand in the future? No, those aren't really on my list of countries I want to visit, to be fair. I mean, I have an extended list of countries I don't want to visit, but if I want to top my top 5 countries I do want to visit, yeah, I wouldn't say New Zealand or Australia are on that list unless someone invited me. The only reason I went to Taiwan was because there's a friend there and I came to see them. Yeah. Metal Gear belongs to Kojima. I feel that way, but it's what would he do with it? I just want a good product, or I want Konami to do something new instead of remaking 3, which I'm probably not gonna play that unless someone I know or a number of people I trust say that, Brian, yeah, you really need to play this game. It's actually really good. But again, I don't trust Konami with this franchise anymore. They have not shown since Kojima left that they can handle it on their own. And anytime they've tried, it's been a complete mess. So unless they prove me wrong, I'm gonna stay away from Metal Gear in this era for a bit. You get a very beautiful ending room. Oh, really? Hey, what's up, Sean? How you doing? Have I seen the trailer for Kung Fu Panda 4? Someone mentioned it earlier today. No, I have not. I didn't know they were making another Kung Fu Panda. Your top favorite movies of the year: John Wick, Fast 10. Really? Wow. Super Mario, Creed. Really? Wow. They released a Creed film this year? Wow, I didn't know that. Guardians of the Galaxy, Five Nights at Freddy's, Saw 10. Oh, I forgot Saw came out this year. Blue Beat. Good God, I heard the movie sucked. Strays and Meg 2. Yeah, it's definitely an interesting list. So you remember your first run of Mass Effect game of any highlights? Wait a second. Do I remember my first run through of the first Mass Effect? Did I have any highlights? I think one of the moments that stuck out, I think there was a moment where you had to decide on whether or not you wanted to kill Rex, and I didn't do it. And obviously there's the decision on do you save Kaidan or do you save Ashley. I typically save Ashley every time. Those are the only moments that really stood out to me, really, to be fair. Oh, also meeting Liara and Talia for the first time, so and Garrus, who's my bro. Love Garrus. He's the ultimate bro character in video game history, no question. When am I dropping your top 10 places? EJP, I'm not sure I can do a top 10. I'm not sure if it feels right. I'm not sure if you guys would want a top 10 because it's so young. It's only been 10 years. I would say my collection isn't all that big, but would you guys even be interested in a top 5 for PlayStation 5 right now? I'm not sure the list would be all that impressive, to be fair. I mean, if enough people want me to do it, then, I'll do it. But, I felt like I would wait, like 2 or 3 more. I would wait till we're at least like 5 years in before I thought about doing a top 10 PlayStation 5 games, because I know like that list would change. Like at least with all these previous lists, they're not releasing any more games, and so that's like a definitive list. But if I tried doing a list like that today, and then we wait like 3 more years, that list might be completely different. So I'm not sure if it's right to do a top 5 PlayStation 5 video now, unless people want to see that, to be fair. Thoughts on Grand Theft Auto 6? I'm not sure if I'll play it. Like, have I played Grand Theft Auto? Yeah, but I'm not like a big fan of it. Like, so they're setting it in Florida or Miami. Like, I think it's somewhere in Florida. Maybe I'll rent it if people say it's good or worth trying. But like, I'm not like, pumped up to play it. It's just gonna probably do the same Grand Theft Auto things it's always done, but it's in a different location with 2 protagonists. So, I'm not sure if that's really for me. Jesus, the whole thing. I tried, that's never really worked out for me. I know that helps some people, but that's never really worked out for me. That's never really been my path. Vamp, do I still play my ukulele? I tried. My skills have kind of gone down a bit. Like, I've been trying to find time to play that, but like, I'm telling you, working two full-time jobs, it is hell. Like, I don't know how parents do it. Like, there are parents out there who are working 2 full-time jobs, going to school while taking care of kids, and they're somehow pulling that off. I don't know how they're able to do that. That is remarkable, the amount of energy, because working 2 jobs it gets to you sometimes, especially when you're working in the departments that I am. They're like a bit different but somewhat similar. It really can get to you. So it's taken away from my gaming and filming content. So like I really like, I think next year when I drop the second job, that's probably when I'll get back to start playing more of my ukulele. But yeah, like I typically try to play that just so I could relearn to play an instrument so it could help me relax, which is probably something I need, because the amount of stress that I'm dealing with is probably a key reason why my high blood pressure has been spiking as much as it did in the last like month or so. It's definitely something I want to get back into doing. But thanks for bringing that up. I'm glad you remember that. How do I feel that E3 is now dead? I am sad, Sean, that E3 is dead, but I'm happy that I got to go, because a lot of people don't remember this. I actually went to E3 2013 when they revealed the PlayStation 5, PlayStation 4. I was there in the crowd when all that PlayStation stuff was going down, and it was an incredible moment. It was like, I thought that was like the peak of my gaming experience as a channel, because I'd only been on YouTube for a year at that point. So I was actually there as media. Like, I think I have my badge here somewhere. I think I put it back. But I'm sad that it's gone, because I always wanted to get back. I never got back. But like, that was when E3, when you had to be invited. That made it even better. I was invited to go to E3 as a member of the media. So that was a high period, and I got to meet a lot of people there. I got to meet people who inspired me to start my channel. A lot of people. I got to meet Sniper Wolf before she was popular. So like, she was really nice back then, but I know she's kind of gone down the dark side these days, so I try to stay away from that. But like, I'm sad that it's gone, but like, it's probably it was something of its time. I think it was okay to move on. I just don't think E3 in that capacity could work nowadays, now that everyone is just making their own conferences. But I think the best thing that E3 did was it allowed people from all over the world to have a chance to come together in person. I mean, when they do these reveals, like, we're all like, we all do this like just through our computers. But I think having an event like that and allowing us to actually see each other and get to hang out with each other in person is probably one of the best things, which is the only reason why, like, if they do the Video Game Awards next year, which I'm sure they'll do, like, that'll be like my main motivation for going next year, is just so I can see my group of friends that I only get to see once a year. Like, other than that, the event itself is just a reason to come together. But yeah, I am sad that E3 is gone, but like, we kind of saw it's sad decline over the years. So, it's nice that they did make it official now. Do I think Batman and Spider-Man would work well together or be at each other's throats? No, I think Batman and Spider-Man could work very well together. Absolutely. I mean, could you imagine what Batman could do if he was working with Spider-Man and like, Spider-Man had a spider sense? Or could you imagine like Spider-Man working as a detective? Like that's one annoying thing that kind of pisses me off is like they try to treat Spider-Man like he's a detective. He's not a detective. Can he do like basic? He's a scientist. He can do basic science thing, but he's not a detective. Like that's Batman. Like I think they could work very well together. The only game I ever looked forward to next year is Rise of the Ronin. Is that coming out next year though? Is that because if that's coming out next year, then that would probably be the only game next year that I was under the impression that wasn't coming out till like early 2025. But is it? But tell me, Daniel, is that coming out next year? Because if that is, then okay, then that's like at least one game I might get next year. But other than that, like I was not aware of that. But yeah. Am I going to get Assassin's Creed Codename Red when it comes out? It comes out next fall. Maybe. I don't know. Probably not. I don't know. From what I've seen, that game hasn't really looked all that impressive to me. Alongside Persona 3 Reload and Rise of the Ronin, my most anticipated game for next year is Metaphor. Okay, Boda, that's interesting. But yeah, a lot of those games they went right over my head. A lot of those games, was it just me or did I? Here's the funny. For those who actually saw the Video Game Awards, a lot of their game announcements, did it seem weird how, like, a lot of the RPGs were kind of anime style? Like, they were kind of doing the whole Persona thing, where it was kind of anime-like, and then it was, like, a lot of space games. Like, did anyone find that a bit weird? That was, like, most, if not all, the announcements. Like, it was either just, like, anime-style RPG, or this kind of space robot shooter or something. It was weird. Like, I was watching the stream of Rachel, and I was just kind of bringing that up. And it was like, doesn't it seem like they're only releasing like two different types of games? It's a bit weird. You got a video idea for me. Showcase all of your collector edition apps. Really? You guys want to see that? Like, you guys gotta let me know in like one of the community centers if you got like I'll put up a post. I promise you, Sean, I'll put up a post. But like you really want me to post my collector's edition? Like you guys can't see this, but like it's so big. I've been so busy. I haven't even had time to like fill up my collector's edition glass case over there that I've had for like the last 10 years. Like, but if you guys really want me to do that, then I'll do that. But like, it's pretty big. I've spent well over $10,000 on collector's editions alone. Like a lot of them are like it's hard to see. Like where my finger's pointing. That closet, like they're stacked. Like there's like the shelves, like from here to here is nothing but collector's edition boxes. Like I've kept all the boxes for all my collector's editions. Like there's a lot of them. But if you guys want to see them, then yeah, I'll have to plan it out for a day because there are a lot of them of different sizes. Would you be open to see Sam Fisher from Splinter Cell versus Predator? I don't think that's a fair fight. That just seems so unbalanced. But no, I don't think I want to see Sam Fisher take on a Predator. That just seems so like yeah. Vengeance wants to know: do I think the video games are rigged? Okay, put it this way: we don't. When it comes to award shows, we don't know who's voting, so it's impossible to know if it's actually rigged because I don't even know if we have an influence on like who's deciding this. So it's a matter of opinion. Because I'll tell you, like I don't like Baldur's Gate or whatever, like won all these awards, I don't know anything about that game. Like so it's weird, like for the last few years, like the game that wins Game of the Year is typically a game I've never heard of before or know anything about. So I have no idea who's picking these games, and I'm not sure there's a point to rigging it because I'm like you don't get anything. Like you get like I mean okay it's nice to give your game like an award, but like does it actually mean anything? Because the VGAs aren't the only game awards. There's several of them. So I don't know. I just think the VGAs are probably the one that gets the most publicity. So it's hard to say if rigging even matters. Like the only time I thought it was weird was the one year where it seemed like what was it? Red Dead Redemption was winning every single award, but the only award it didn't win was Game of the Year. But I do believe that was like the only award that God of War won that year, which was weird. Like it was a surprise. I was like, how is it that God of War doesn't win any other awards except Game of the Year, and yet And yet Red Dead Redemption won like 8 awards. Like it looked like it was going to be a clear sweep of any category it was in. It was going to win. So how does it win all these awards yet it doesn't win the top awards? Like stuff like that was a bit weird. Like maybe they didn't want to make it obvious or something. I don't know. It's weird. Have I played Saints Row? No, Sean. I have never played Saints Row. They had something weird in it that threw me off. That was kind of weird. How much time we got? We still got like 25 minutes. Okay. Is it wrong that you prefer Devil May Cry 3 over 5? No, that's perfectly fine. Devil May Cry 3 has a great story. I just think that the combat, I think the story, I think the visuals, personally, I think that they're all better than Devil May Cry 3 in every department. But Devil May Cry 3 is still an incredible game. If you prefer 3, that's great. That is still a masterpiece of a game. So yeah, you shouldn't feel bad. Would you like a live-action Mass Effect series? It should be better than the Halo TV show. No. I don't think we should risk it. I mean, could the budget in order to do Mass Effect right, I don't think anyone would want to put up the money for that. I don't think Mass Effect is popular enough. Like, I think the reason why they're going with Halo is because Halo is really the face of Microsoft. It's the face of the Xbox. I mean, it's been that way for like over 20 years. I don't think Mass Effect is a popular enough franchise that you could warrant spending a massive budget to do it right. Otherwise, it would look cheap. So I don't think it's worth like a lot of it would just come to the visuals and like the aliens. Like that's where your money would come. And like if you don't make it look right, then it's never gonna work. So no, I don't think we should try. I think we should leave Mass Effect as a game. Have I ever played Lost Planet? No, but there was a Lost Planet game I really want to play on the PlayStation 3, but I just need time to kind of find a copy of it on eBay. Like, I'm sure finding it on eBay is easy, but it's just finding the time to play it. But, like, there's, like hang on. Let me see if I can look it up. Let me see if I can pull it up. PS3, Lost Planet. Like, I've seen, like, some... Oh, there it is. If I remember correctly, it's called... Maybe you can tell me if you've liked it, but it's called Lost Planet Extreme Condition. Like, I've seen gameplay of this, and it looks really, really, really good for PlayStation 3. Even looking back at our current standards, like, it looks like a game I should have played. I don't know how I missed this one, but I really want to go back and play it. So maybe you could tell me if it's worth playing. But yeah, that's like the only Lost Planet game I've seen that looks really, really good. So you let me know. How would I describe horror and terror? I think horror and terror is more than just sound effects. I think you need to build a good atmosphere and have a good story. Which is why it's really difficult for me to get into horror, to be fair. Is this the first big health scare? Yes. This is mine. I don't make... This is personally my first major health scare, because I'd say like the previous couple of months I had been noticing like a few sharp pains in certain parts of my body that I couldn't really explain. So I'm glad we caught this when it did, because I'm still getting a lot of work done on my back section of my teeth. So if that hadn't happened, who knows what could have happened? Because again, when Dad passed, we didn't know. That was a total shock to us, because I had just taken my dad to the hospital maybe a few weeks before he passed. So he had gotten checked out, and he was perfectly fine. And even when he passed away, even the doctors couldn't understand how he could have had a massive heart attack like he did, because he was so healthy. Like, Dad was actually working out and taking vitamins. Like, he was doing everything you're supposed to be doing to stay healthy. Maybe it was all the smoking he did over the decades that killed him, but like, or maybe stress. I don't know. Like, that's what my sister believes, but I don't believe it. I think there was definitely something more major. But like, yeah, I'm kind of glad we caught this when we did. So I can make the proper changes now. KOTOR is an RPG like Mass Effect. So are you saying KOTOR is like Mass Effect? But like you can play as like a Jedi or like a guy with a gun. Is that what you're saying? Because I've seen footage of KOTOR gameplay and it looks like an MMO. And I'm not a big fan of MMOs, to be fair. So that was my concern. That's kind of what kept me away from KOTOR for so long. Like, they said it had like this amazing story, but like which that's enough for me. But again, for the longest time, that game was only like available on like PC and Xbox. So like this is like the first time I've gotten a chance to play this on a non-Xbox or PC platform, and it's on the Switch, so that's something. Have I seen the trailer for Grand Theft Auto 6? You're excited for it? Again, I've seen it, but I'm not the biggest fan of Grand Theft Auto, to be fair. Maybe I'll give it a try, but I'm not pumped up to play it. Force Unleashed is different on all platforms. I recommend the PlayStation PSP version. I am not sure if I can even play the PSP version at this point. But again, I did not know that the Switch was going to have apparently the Wii version. I did not know that at all. So like I'm playing through this version for the first time. So I was just like, oh, this is very different than what I was expecting. Did you see a submarine called Crimson Tide from the 90s starring Denzel Washington and Glenn Hackman? Yes, I have seen that movie. It's a good one. The one where they think that they need to put they get their antenna breaks down and they get a message, but they're not sure if they need to launch a nuclear attack. And oh yeah, I've seen that film. Have you seen a movie called The Widowmaker with Harrison Ford and Liam Neeson? That's also a really good one. But yeah, I'm into submarine films. My favorite movie this year was Guardians of the Galaxy. Okay, I'm glad. You guys will have to wait to find out what my favorite movie of this year was. What would I change about Mass Effect 2? What would I change? Personally, I would just get rid of a couple crew members. I don't there's a few crew members I don't think add anything. I understand there's a feeling of you want to recruit the best of the best, so you're gonna have a bigger team than you normally would. But after a while, you have so many characters. It's just do we need this many people? If we took this character out, how would the story actually change? With the mission, I think we could get rid of 3 or 4 characters, and I still think we could have done the suicide mission. Or maybe we just needed extra characters because we were dealing with so many forces of the collectors. Maybe that was the whole point. But that's sort of the only change I would make to Mass Effect 2. Other than that, it's still the best Mass Effect game ever made, by far. What would I change about Uncharted 3? I would have done 2 things. I would have done more with the main villain because she didn't really do anything. And I would have explored the whole Nathan Drake not being his name, because and I would have made Drake less of an ass. Drake was very unlikable in that game. He was being an asshole to everyone, unfairly. I was what the hell is wrong with you? Man, Sully was trying to say maybe we should stop doing this, and then Nick was complaining. I was just dude, that you shouldn't talk to Sully like that. That's just dude, he's known you too long for that. And when they announced that, oh yeah, Nathan Drake is not even your real name, I stopped. Wait a minute, what do you mean that's not his name? And we just moved right past it. It's wait, we need to go back to that. We need to go back to that, and we wouldn't resolve that till the next game. I was but that annoyed the hell out of me. But other than that, it was a fun game. Not my favorite. Which of your go-to devil breakers? Which is your go-to devil breaker in Devil May Cry 5? Depends on the character. Doma, you gotta let me know which character, because then I could tell you. Which monster from MonsterVerse do I think would survive against the other monsters? I don't know. There's too many of them to count. I'm not really big on the whole MonsterVerse, to be fair, so I can't say. Hey, Super Gaming, how am I doing? I'm doing okay today. How are you doing? I'm definitely feeling a lot healthier today. Games I'm most excited for 2024: Star Wars Outlaws and Assassin's Creed Red Rumor and Gears 6. I didn't know they were still making Gears games. Because of your health, are you considering giving up one of your jobs? Oh, that was always the plan, Phantom Cities. That was always the plan. I only got a second job just so I could make more money so I could do other things. I will say this: as stressful as working 2 jobs was, having a second job allowed me to do so much this year. I went on 4 or 5 trips this year. I could not have done that at any time. I went to Universal Studios, then I did a round trip, and I went to my first Comic-Con, and then I went to MGS Con, and I think I was planning a trip to Disneyland, but then I went to go spend a week with my brother. So I went on I went on 5 trips. Yeah, because I went to go visit someone I know and have a great time with her. It was a fun adventure. So yeah, I went on 5 trips this year. just this year. If I didn't have a second job, I never could have done that. And I'm trying to plan 2 trips before May because I have to move. You're gonna find this annoying. Yeah, next May I'm moving again. So there's like 2 trips I'm trying to plan somewhere between February and April, and I could only afford to do them if I had a second job, plus save up for a move, for another move. So yeah, as stressful as it can be, like just financially, it's been a great thing. But like again, I wouldn't I wouldn't make this the standard norm because like working 2 jobs, it definitely can have a negative effect on you. So you need to balance that out with. I think that's why I probably needed all these vacations to balance that out. Expendables 4, Dead Rising, Ant-Man 3. Wow, were those your favorite films? Because I was sure that Expendables 4 sucked. So, did I watch the Purge movies? I've seen clips of the Purge films, but I've never actually sat down and watched them. I know the whole concept of the Purge, but like, yeah, it's a little too crazy for me. Do I want kids? At this point, no, Vamp. No, my experience working at an arcade has made me think that kids are the devil. Are little demon spawns. I don't think I want to be a parent. Like, and with how the world is right now, like, I understand and respect people more when they don't want to have kids. To be fair. Like, if you want to have kids, good luck, but like, do you really want to try raising them in this era with everything that's going on in this country? Like, my brother's about to have his first kid, and I wish him all the best of luck, and I definitely plan on seeing my nephew. Apparently his due date is sometime in February. I definitely want to be there, but like even still, like for myself, like I do not think I would make a great parent. I do not have the patience for this because heck, I don't have the patience for this for kids bullshit at one of my jobs. So like, how could I handle that for like 18, 21 years? Like that's just crazy. Any favorite video game guns that you admire, such as any guns in Mass Effect? No, like, if I had, like, a favorite gun, like, again, I would want, like, a replica version of it. It would be, like, one of the Ratchet and Clank guns. Yeah, I think the Mass Effect guns are good, but, like, I wouldn't want, like, a replica version of those. I think at one point they sold a couple versions of those that were, like, life-size, but, like, no, nothing I would want to own. How much time we got? I got, like, 13 minutes. Let's see. As a musician myself, you have to ask. Well, what do you want to ask? Oh, what's one Disney film franchise you would love to watch with your future kids? If I had, okay, put it like this: if I did have any kids, if I had any, I would not show them any Disney films that came out after 2010. Like the movies I would expose them to is anything 2010 and earlier. I would refuse to show them anything modern Disney or anything that came out after 2010, because the quality of Disney films seriously went down. Like there's nothing. Like I asked my brother, like, because he wants to watch when he's born, when his son's born. I asked him, I was like, you know what? I think one of the best joys you could have as a parent is watching something as an adult that you enjoyed as a kid and actually seeing them enjoy it the same way. And I'm afraid if I ever expose my kid to modern Disney, that's not going to happen. Because modern Disney is garbage. And, like, totally misleading and bad for kids, in my opinion. It's bad for families. Like, modern Disney is not good for modern families. It is not good at all. It tears apart families. But, yeah, that would be, like, my joy. So, like, I would have my kid watch the kind of Disney films that I saw as a kid. And if they could enjoy it as much as I did at their age, then that would be, like, a key reason to be a parent, but I don't think that's going to happen. Do you think bringing back Virgil was kind of pointless because to me he would just get in the way of Nero's character development? I don't think so. I think it did a lot for Nero as a character because I didn't believe, because for the longest time they tried to confirm that Nero was Virgil's son, and I didn't believe that because it didn't make any sense. I was like, when could this have ever happened? So no, I don't think I think if anything, it did a good job at getting closure to Dante. So if they do a Devil May Cry 6, I would expect it to focus solely on Nero. Because to me, Nero was always in Dante's shadow. And so I think for me personally, I think bringing Virgil back and him kind of being on peaceful terms with Virgil, I think that's how it should have ended, closing off Dante's story. Because you have to remember, Dante is still the main character of the franchise. So I think bringing back Virgil for Devil May Cry 5 was really more for Dante than it was for Nero. Because the whole V character was also a part of Virgil. So now that Dante's story arc and character development is pretty much done, if they do eventually decide Devil May Cry 6, focus solely on Nero. That's what I would expect. So I do not think it was pointless at all. Do you like Sea Ocean? I am not too familiar with that franchise, if I'm being fair. What is my thoughts on the new Final Fantasy Rebirth trailer? I didn't watch it. I'm not touching this Final Fantasy VII remake. I'm not touching it. I'm never gonna play it. It is the worst game. I will never play anything that's remake Final Fantasy VII. I'm not touching it. I don't want anything to do with it. I'm staying away from it. Rise of the Roman comes out March 22nd next year. Sorry for the late reply. Okay, maybe I'll check it out when it comes out, because that did look interesting. I thought that would come out in 2025. Which video game series doesn't need a live action? Oh my God, there's so many. Any quality franchise doesn't need to be made into a live action movie or series. We don't need a live action Uncharted. We don't need a live action BioShock. Like, to me, it doesn't make sense to make live action versions of these franchises. I guess they're trying to expand the franchise, but the problem is that when you try to do that, you kind of want to get people invested in not just the live action version. You want to get them invested in the games, because I don't think anyone could argue this, that if they try to do a live action telling of a video game story, the superior version is always going to be the game version. Like, how many people can say that they saw the Last of Us HBO series and that made them want to play the game? I've not heard that at all. It's typically the other way around. It's like, oh, I played the game, so I want to see the live action series, which personally I didn't watch the live action series because I'm not a fan of The Last of Us. But like, it never works in reverse. And a lot of people who would watch this, like, don't know what it is. Like, that's why I'm against the idea of like a Metal Gear Solid movie, because outside of the gaming community, no one knows what the hell a Metal Gear is. So like, why make a movie on something that most people will not know about? You're gonna have to make this movie for your fan base, but I don't think that fan base is big enough to warrant a movie. Like, at least with someone like Super Mario or Sonic, like, these are iconic characters who have been around for decades. But like, Solid Snake is like, he's a popular character, but I would never say he's an iconic gaming character that anyone who isn't a gamer would know about. Like, even if you don't play games, you would know who Mario is. You know who Sonic is. You don't know who Solid Snake is. You don't know what a Big Brother from BioShock is. I mean, you don't know who you don't know these characters. They're not popular enough. What's my game of the year? You will find it when I upload my ranking video. You will find out what my game of the year was. It might surprise some people. What is carnivorous species would I want to convert into a hero? Probably a Spinosaurus. But to be fair, with recent research, they say that a Spinosaurus probably fed off more like aquatic prey than meat, which I guess fish is kind of like that, so yeah. Devil May Cry 3 is your favorite game? Heck, that's great. Heck, that's great to know. I don't think modern Disney is appropriate for children. Yeah, I feel the same way. I don't think it's appropriate at all. We did have an anime movie, Paragon Lost, and it was okay. I'm not too familiar with that. Oh, jeez. Oh, okay. Okay, guys, I gotta ask you guys, your keyboards, I need you to all stop your questions, because I just start scrolling down to see how many questions we had, and that is way too much for how much time we have. We have like 6 minutes, and like, yeah, I'm kind of behind just trying to catch up. So like, if I get to all these questions, so like, all of you guys, don't send any more questions unless we have time. Because I'm running out of sunlight, because I have to start a little bit sooner, and then the stream's gonna start looking a little bit weird. So I'm gonna have to I'm gonna have to turn this screen on here and get light in order to improve the lighting. So I'm just, yeah. So like, time out with the questions. Let me just get through the rest of them, and I'll let you know when I get there. what are my top 5 Final Fantasy protagonists? Uh, okay, I'll just do this in this order. I think Clive is. I won't do it in any order. I'll just do top 5, just random. I think Cloud's a good one. I think Squall's a good one. I think Yuna's a good one. I think Clive is a good one, and I think Auron's a good one. But if we're talking about main protagonists, I did a whole ranking video about this. So like, if you need me to send you a link to that video, yeah, I already did a ranking of like what I thought of the main protagonists. So so that's what I would say. If there was a Devil May Cry spin-off centered on Virgil, do I think it should take place between the events of Devil May Cry 3 and Devil May Cry 1? No. And the reason is because he's under the control of Mundus. You have to remember, right after Devil May Cry 3, he engages Mundus injured, and he gets taken control of. So if they were to try to do a story about Devil May Cry 3, about Virgil, I would expect it would take place before 3, or the time he gets resurrected before he meets Nero. Which might not be all that interesting because he's injured. But yeah, if I was going to do an origin story about Virgil, I would probably have it take place after their parents were killed, but before that, Devil May Cry 3. That's where I would do if I was doing a Virgil series. Let's see. And if the spinoff comes to be, it should be titled "Blame My Questioning Virgil Devil May Cry Story." Resident Evil 4 is your favorite game, so I felt like I had to at least try out the remake. If they're going to remake 5, I probably won't bother. I don't know if they'll remake 5. My issue is them remaking 5. I hope you guys don't see any more questions. I think my problem with 5 is that they might be tempted to make it a single player game only, and that was meant to be played with AI or co-op. I mean, that's why to this day I openly will admit that Resident Evil 5 is the best co-op game I've ever played. Even by today's standards, like I have never had more fun playing with someone else in a co-op game than Resident Evil 5. So if they remade 5, they have to keep that intact. But I'm afraid that they're going to try to make it more horror-based and remove the second character and make it a solo game only. And that's my concern. Like, if you want to play it with an AI, then fix it, improve the AI, but that needs to be a co-op game. 100%. Like, that was the reason, like, I think it's still one of the best-selling Resident Evil games of all time. What would I change about Devil May Cry 2? Oh, there's so much to change. I would just make the game harder and have a much more interesting antagonist. Like a lot of people don't give Devil May Cry 2 credit for doing a lot of good things. Like, that game did a lot of things that were good. In fact, there was like a couple of key elements that Devil May Cry 2 did better in Devil May Cry 3, and they wouldn't fix this issue to Devil May Cry 5. Hell, it did things better than Devil May Cry 4. And so I would say that Devil May Cry 5 was really the first game that fixed all the problems, because Devil May Cry 3 and Devil May Cry 4 had problems that were similar that Devil May Cry 2 didn't have. So yeah, that's how I feel. You saw your top 5 worst video game characters. You thought rant about Hope was funny. Yes, I hate Hope. I hate that little bastard. At what point for you personally did the plot of Kingdom Hearts start getting confusing? Oh, jeez. Let's see. Okay, Kingdom Hearts 1 was fine. Chain of Memories was fine. The plot was 2 was fine. It got a little complicated, but it was still there. Birth by Sleep, you're starting to get a little bit mixed, but I think it started for me getting confusing. I think Dream dropped distance. I think at that point the plot was all over the place, and I think by Kingdom Hearts 3, I think the plot was too all over the place. I don't even know what the plot is anymore. Like, I've given up on that franchise. Like, whenever they release Kingdom Hearts 4, I'm not even gonna play it. Like, there was no middle section to that game. Like, like the game started, and then you like immediately thrust into like the final battle. Like, starting for the final battle. Like, Kingdom Hearts 3 had no middle section, and it was a mess. That was not worth 14 years. Absolutely not. Does nostalgia affect my love of a game? Sometimes it does. Sometimes I feel like I love that game so much, I don't feel it needs to come back, and I would just prefer you leave it the way it is. And sometimes I just don't think it needs to be improved. Have I seen Transformers Rise of the Beast movie? I saw clips of it, but I didn't see the whole film. I know that at the end they want to tie it to G.I. Joe's, but I'm not sure if I would see something like that. Do you remember Chief Brian Irons from Resident Evil 2? Do you know wait, what? Chief Brian Irons. Is that the guy who messes with the little girl who's like a serial killer? And if it was that guy, I think he was weird, and I'm glad he's dead. But weren't we all like that in our younger years? Yes. I guess we were. Dante is more of a dad to Nero than Virgil ever was. Well, Virgil wasn't alive, so like, how can you say that? I wouldn't say Dante's a father figure. No, absolutely not. Like, that is not Dante at all. Where'd you get that from? Like, you can't say that, he's a better father figure than Virgil. Virgil didn't want kids. He didn't want a son. I mean, it would be like you waking up one day and finding a son, oh, yeah, you had a one-night stand like 23 years ago, and you had a son this whole time and you didn't know about it. It's like, well, I didn't know I had a son. Virgil didn't know that. So, like, how can you say he wasn't a father figure? He didn't want kids. It just sort of happened. I mean, Big Boss is the same way. I mean, like, he distinctly didn't want kids. So when he wakes up one day and finds out, oh, yeah, guess what? Major Zero not only made you have kids, you've got, like, 2 genetic engineer clones. You have, like, 3 kids. And I'm like, and he's like, I didn't want children, so, yeah. Virgil probably still haven't watched Uncharted movie. Yeah, I don't want to watch the Uncharted film. Kenway family versus, I don't know. Third favorite, Resident Evil 4 is your favorite. Tekken B tomorrow on PlayStation. Do I recommend Ni no Kuni? Absolutely. Definitely play the White Witch. You don't have to play the second one, but like I would definitely recommend the White Witch one. And with that, yeah, I think we'll have to stop the stream there. We're definitely over an hour now, and the sun's almost nearly down, so I need to start editing the 2 ranking videos right now before I have to head out to the gym. But again, I want to thank you guys for stopping by. This was fun. I do apologize for the technical issues. I'm going to try to make sure that this doesn't happen next week. Maybe I'll connect to my laptop because my laptop is running incredibly fast and my PC is going kind of slow, so I'll have to upgrade that soon. But again, thanks you guys for stopping by, and thank you for you guys' questions. Remember, if you guys have any more ideas for videos, let me know in the community. I will set up a community tab poll and ask you guys if you want me to do a video going over all my collector's editions, and then you can send in your ideas there. So like always, I want to thank you guys for watching. You're awesome, and I'll see you guys next week.